Growing up in Sydney's inner west, I had some Cypriot neighbours who would bake the most delicious halloumi bread, one of Cyprus's national dishes. Now, they taught me the secret to the best halloumi bread is a combination of 2 cheeses, not just one. So today I'm going to use halloumi and feta for a real cheese hit. Now, I start by sprinkling my tin with some sesame seeds and some nigella seeds. I love a combination of both. You can use one or the other. If you've never used nigella seeds before, they are actually really delicious. Now, if you can't find nigella seeds in your supermarket, most European delis stock it. I'll just give this a whirl to get a nice even spread. This is going to give our bread a really nice seeded crust. Okay, our tin's ready. That's what you want. Pop it over here while we mix our ingredients. Now, I start with my wet ingredients. To a bowl, some light olive oil. I'm not using an extra virgin robust one here because it will be too overpowering. Just a light olive oil is fine. Some milk. And then 4 eggs. This is an incredibly moist bread and eggs add to that moisture. In they go. Eggs are fantastic in gluten-free baking because they add some elasticity back into our batter. If you've never baked before, this is a really great recipe to start with because it's very easy, and with all that cheese in there, it's impossible to get it wrong. I'll give that a quick mix. And now to the star of the show, cheese. I'm using a premium quality halloumi here. This one has no animal rennet in it, so it's fantastic for vegetarians. I just need a third. We're using about 300 grams here. And I'm going to grate that in. The great thing about this dish is it's a savoury bread. Not everyone has a sweet tooth like me, so even if you're not a cake lover, you'll still love this bread. Okay. There's our halloumi done. Now, it looks like a lot of cheese, but this bread does need it, and it's going to make our bread incredibly moist. And for our second cheese, feta. We don't need to grate it. I want to crumble this in so you get those nice chunks of feta. Just straight in with our hands. Now, this feta does have that firm, crumbly texture, so it's fantastic for this bread because you want those nice chunks. It's also got a beautiful tangy flavour. Okay, now for our herbs. Fresh mint. Now, some people like to use dried mint in their halloumi bread. I'm personally not a fan. I think fresh mint is much more flavoursome. Just chop it in. You could also use some oregano if you like. Mint and halloumi go hand in hand. This is a classic Mediterranean combination. I just want that finely chopped. In with our mint. Pinch of ground white pepper. I like the ground white pepper because it's slightly sweet as opposed to a black pepper here. And 2 cups of gluten-free self-raising flour. A pinch of salt. And a quick blend. Okay, our batter's come together. It's actually quite a thick batter. I'll show you the texture. This is what it looks like. It's a thick, chunky batter. Just go straight into our tin. Now, I'm using a square cake tin here, but you can use a round cake tin. You can even make this in a bundt tin, as long as it's about 20 centimetres wide. Okay, now for a final sprinkling of seeds, some more sesame over the top. My favourite, nigella. I'm going to be quite generous here. Okay, and I'm going to bake this in a 180 oven for 40 minutes. Our bread's out. It smells amazing. Reminds me of a Mediterranean bakery. Now, you can enjoy this warm or cold. I like it slightly warm, so I'm going to flip it out. The best way to do this is to place a board on top of your tin. Use a towel so you don't burn yourself. Flip it over. And then I'll place my serving plate on top and flip it over again. Oh, and there we have it. Can't wait to slice into this. Now, the great thing about this bread is because we've got all that cheese in it stays incredibly moist, even up to 3 days. If you slice it on day 3, it'll taste like day 1 bread. I'm going to cut myself a nice, generous chunk. This looks amazing. Oh, you've got those beautiful chunks of feta, the seeded crust, the herbs. That is just delightful, and you get that fresh hit of mint. Take this to your next morning tea at work. Your colleagues will love you.